behalf of Jim Runstep. Senator Runstep, 16 years of public service. He also has, he was married for 27 years. He has 4 kids and 15 grandkids, and he was raised on a farm. Jim Runstep was the first candidate, and maybe the only so far, that turned in his fee to run as chair. Also, he already raised $100,000. So that's very impressive. A little bit about me, I'll be running as his co-chair. I started in politics. My brother, I was 18 years old, and I was going to Marygrove College. My brother was working in England, Governor of England. And he told me about, Republican versus Democrat. And it was at that time that I became a Republican. I went on, got married. We have 8 children, 1 in heaven. She died at 4.5 years old. That's a story within itself. I was chair. If you know Tom Homan, I was communicating with him just yesterday. Tom Homan is the CEO of the America Project, and I'm the chairman of the board for the America Project. Tom would endorse me, but he has to get through, he has to go through the process. I was the vice chair of the Gerald R. Ford Women's Republican Club. I was the president of the Gerald R. Women's Republican Club. I went on to become state committee woman for District 2, ethnic vice chair for 4 years. Now, as ethnic vice chair, I raised my own money to go throughout the entire state of Michigan, going to the people. And that's what I did. I ran on that, and I did just that. I raised the money, and I had rallies all over the state of Michigan. If you go to my website, BernadetteSmith.net, you will see a lot of what I've done. I took the message to the people, which I think that's very, very vital that we do that. Because people are not going to come to us. I remember I was going into Detroit, and someone said, do you really want to go to Detroit? Well, I lived in Detroit. I went to school in Detroit. And I went to Marygrove College as well. So I went to go to the worst part in Detroit, and they took me there. And one lady walked up and she said, who's responsible for this rally? And they brought her to me. And she told me that I was in the wrong neighborhood. She said, I needed to go to a neighborhood that were a voting community. I was in the right neighborhood. We need to go and grab those people from out of their mindset and bring them into the right mindset. I also held a rally of the UP all over, but I went to Dearborn, Michigan. You remember that? We had about 1,000 people there. Tudor Dixon, Matt DePerl, everyone was there. I organized that along with, I asked Rhoda, will she help me do this? That was one of the rallies that I did. Very effective. Who know Dr. Amir, the mayor of Hamtramck? I have been in communication with him for 1.5 years before he came on the scene. I called him one day 1.5 years ago. I said, I want to meet you. And he said, come on. We talked in his office. We laughed. We prayed. And we communicated for about a year. And I asked him, I said, Dr. Amir, what do you want? And he wanted the support of the Republicans, which he thought he could not get. Well, I was a catalyst for that. I say it with great humility, but it was something that I prayed about, and I acted on my prayers. So then I said, well, why don't you get 40 leaders or leaders in the state of Michigan in the Muslim community, and let's have a meeting. He did that. And I brought General Flynn down and someone else down, and we had a leadership meeting in Hamtramck, Michigan. And it was very effective. We brought our message, the Republican message, to the people. And he said to me, quote unquote, because I'm sure it's being videotaped, he said, Bernadette, he said, I will tell President Trump that it was because of you and your message to me and reaching out to me is what brought us to vote for him, our communities, 100,000 uncommitted Muslims. I'm not taking the credit for everything, but I was a catalyst to bring this forth. I will do the same thing as Jim Runstep, co-chair. I will go to the people, bringing unity. It's time for us to not focus on those things that divide us, but rise up and focus on those things that unite us. And I'm a uniter. I'm also a people person. I can talk to anyone. I'm one that believes we need the donor class, we need the grassroots class, we need everybody working on deck. to make a change, an effective change to help our state, but beyond our state, to help our world. We need to bring good governance back into our state and our world. We need to bring morality back into our world. It's so important that we do. First of all, I want to say, somebody asked me a question. They said, well, how can you govern? How can you govern those that are not Christians? Very simple answer. We govern by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. If we do that, we can govern anyone. And I'm so excited. So I hope I earn your support. And I'm here. And Jim once said, they also asked the question, how can Jim do the job? You know, there's a lot of senators. I mean, there's a lot of senators, or I should say legislators, that have full-time businesses. And they're in legislation. I will be working full-time as Jim's co-chair. And if you go to my website, I'm a hard worker. And I don't quit. I may average 4 hours of sleep a night because I'm always working. Because I'm determined to save this country and this state. And I'm also a unifier, and I want to work with HEMA and everybody else. I want to work with all of you all because it's time for us to get this job done. You agree? Yeah.
Two questions. I'll say you were lectured on last time. Here. Okay, go ahead.
Bernadette, what will Jim Ronstadt do to recruit auto workers? The end of last week, Sean Fain, head of the UIW, said he probably knew that 55% of all auto workers voted for Donald Trump. Now, I've made a living at the foot of Woodward and Jefferson as a lawyer, right there, across the street from the Detroit Welcome Sign, in the City County building known as KMAC. What will they do? Second question's a little lighter. Where will you be 2 weeks from today?
One question.
I'm going to leave that question
Auto
for,
workers.
I want to leave that question for Jim to answer, if that's okay.
So the second question?
What's the second question?
Where will you be 2 weeks from today at noon, celebrating when you hear the words, I, Donald J. Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. Where will you be celebrating?
I will be in Washington, D.C. Is that what you're referring to? Where will I be celebrating?
Yes.
I will be celebrating with our president in Washington.
We just wanted to party with you, that's all. I have a question that's probably a little convenient.
That's
I
right.
think is out of the blue for me.
Sure.
2 years ago, we had the same election for IMAJB chair. And that administration turned into nothing short of disaster. And I would like every one of the candidates actually, if you want to chime in, please address what lesson we learned from that, and what we would do to avoid such disaster happening again.
Do you mean, you said 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago, that last election of the MF.
Or do you mean just last year when we elected someone? Thank you, okay,
Yeah.
you said, what would I do? Well,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I believe so, the last administration, right? Well, I believe in focusing on unity. And I believe working together and being transparent is very key. I believe in going to the individual, and I don't believe in putting people down. We cannot put a donor class down or a grassroots down. We have to come and sit at the table together and talk because we need each other. It's vital. So to me, talking and working together and keeping our business in the inside and not spread it on the outside. Simple as that. We have to give and take. All of us, we give and take. Is that not correct? I hope I'm answering your question, because do what's right. And everyone should have due process. Everyone. Everyone here, everyone in our nation should have due process. Let's just do what's right. Let's just do what's right. To me, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Do what's right and we'll come out on top. Let's do what's right. And you said something when were talking about people, talking and criticizing and lying and so forth. That's going to happen. But we cannot allow lies to take us down. I've been in politics for 24 years, actively involved. But my point is, people are gonna see all kinds of things. They're gonna miscrew, and they're gonna add to, and they're gonna take away. But if we keep our eyes and focus on why we exist on earth, we'll be all right. And do what's right. And we'll all be all right.
Can I ask a quick follow-up that maybe each of the candidates can touch on? May I ask a question?
Well, we have a schedule because we have, yeah.